From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a huge day for June 17th, 2022, as the President of the United States confirms my reporting of nearly 5 months. It addresses the concern of recession by the American people today. And what does he say about it? The breaking news comments for Friday, June 16th, 2022. But we also have Jay Powell speaking as well. He gives us guidance on what he's doing with inflation. Is he out to sea, or is he down the road or with a hay and hair basket? The latest details in today's breaking news. Then we'll be looking at that unemployment number released yesterday and what it means for this new week. We'll be going over the big money at issue as the economy stalls up and why stagflation may be another concern we never thought would actually happen. The latest details on that. But with all this bad news for this economy, it signals that my predictions of where we're going are correct. And that's why you got to get a forced stimulus check that is in every U.S. state. We'll go over those incredible checks in today's recording. Step 1, subscribe. Step 2, become a member. And step 3, get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system. In today's recording, we'll go over the recessionary pressures, we'll go over the unemployment concerns, we'll go over the growing interest rates and the flexible interest rate burden and it may have on you if you have everything from a car loan to a flexible mortgage rate. We'll be looking at the concerns as the labor situations can change dramatically, and people who are not ready for that may get whiplash, thinking that there's FPUC, PUA, or PEUC out there. They're not. We'll be looking at the pressures on small businesses that worry that there may not be EIDL or EIDL grant. There is not. And with that, the importance of getting the forced stimulus check that is in every U.S. state is apparent right now. We'll go over the importance of getting money before this economy gets worse, and it's going to get worse. September is stage 2. Stage 3 is January 2023. That is the start of a 2-year recession. That is why you got to get that forced stimulus check at every U.S. state. You got to become a member and stay with me over this 1-hour broadcast. It's the most loved show at the midday. It's afternoons. I'm glad you're here, and it starts right now. And good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It is a gorgeous day here along the coast, and I hope you're having a great day. I'm going to be with you all weekend long. Stay with me because we're going to have a lot of recordings. And we're going to have a lot of breaking news over the weekend as well. For June 16, 2022, we have breaking news from the White House as the President of the United States says that recession is not inevitable. And we have breaking news from Jay Powell, who says that he's getting inflation down to 2% by the end of this year. Whoa, I have a lot of wonderful nonsense to deliver you in today's recording. There's just a lot of ridiculous nonsense coming out of government officials' mouths today, and it's coming up later in this recording. Yes, it is inevitable we're going to recession because the White House has not gotten a solution for gasoline, and the gasoline price is going up higher. How much higher? It's coming up in today's recording. And it is also ridiculous that Jay Powell thinks that he's getting inflation down to 2%, because I said since start of February, it's not. It's going to be 4%. And the Congressional Budget Office, a nonpartisan organization, and the Department of Labor do not agree either. We're not even to Wall Street. They don't think that's even correct at all. We'll go over the latest comments on their front in just a second. But here we go. We start the weekend with people potentially having jobs and worried that they may lose the job. We start the weekend with people worried that the recession's already underway. It's not. With people thinking that this is the worst the economy is going to be. It's not. It's going to get a lot worse. With consumer sentiment down to the worst level since the start of the pandemic, well, get ready because it's going to get worse, the consumer sentiment. And consumer savings being eaten up, and also seniors doing things they shouldn't be doing. What's important to do as when an economic situation changes very dramatically is get a lot of information. You gotta get a lot of information when economic times change very dramatically. You got to learn the information, absorb the information, and have it ready because the good times of yesterday are no longer with you. In February this year, many Americans thought this economy was doing pretty well. Maybe March, you thought it was doing really well. And what you have now understood, you got to pivot very quickly. Back in February, I was the only American U.S. financial broadcaster saying we're going to recession. We're going to recession for 2 years. I was the only one saying it. In fact, it took 2 months until the first major bank, it was Deutsche Bank, saying that the U.S. will be going to recession for 2 years. Even as of last week, some banks still don't want to use the word recession. Meantime, it was less than a week ago that the number one financial news channel in America, this is number 3, said that job security is really good. Everyone has a job and they don't have to worry about losing their job. Now their lead story a week later is what to prepare if you're losing the job. What's so important is you got to get your mindset right when things are changing very dramatically. Let me tell you where the breaking news is today. The breaking news today is that on the labor situation, the job situation, it's going from pretty good to bad, and it's going to be horrific in just a very short period of time by September. The situation on the labor was revealed on Thursday. On Thursday, the number came in for the new jobless claims. And did I get it right? Over the last week, I said that the number of new jobless claims released every Thursday morning, this Thursday was going to be 230,000. That was my prediction over a week ago. What did it come in at? Exactly what I said, 229,000. And this is as Wall Street is expecting actually a lesser number. So here we go. We were right on the money again with my predictions, and this is why you can't wait. The number released on June 16th was really a shocker because it was right on the money, but also shocker because it was really bad. I said it's going to be 230, and it can't be 230 because it's a really bad number, and it came in at 229. What does this mean? It means that we're at the number of jobless claims that we saw right before the start of the pandemic. We actually a little bit higher. It was about 200,000, maybe 210, the day before the pandemic, March 2020, and then it shot up to 1 million. We have continuing unemployment claims of 1.3 million. Now, the situation with these individuals is that we learned the week before, not this week, but the week before, that the people being laid off are people being laid off at small businesses where the businesses are going under. So this is very, very troubling. And again, remember, this is first-time job filers. This is not people who were unemployed before and they're asking for more money. This is first-time jobless claims. How bad is this economy? Well, this is where it gets confusing. Not for you, but for the American people. They believe, in consumer sentiment numbers released last week, that this is the recession. It's not the recession. It's not the recession. And the worrisome I have when they say that is they think this is as bad as it's going to get. It's just the start of the situation. There are 3 phases that we're going to undergo. We're currently in the first one. The second one starts in September. The third one is in January. Let me go over the 3 phases. The first phase is going to be a real hitting the brakes in a truck. You know, that tow truck going over the finish line. Well, now that tow truck is hitting the brakes really quickly. Between February and September, hitting the brakes really abruptly, and then changing course and going the other direction. It's the downward spiral of the economy. It's the contraction of the GDP. It's the layoffs of people, the contractions of businesses, and the less profitability of the U.S. economy. And people are going to get blindsided when they think today is yesterday, or when they think they can do today what they did yesterday. They can't. It's going to be featured tonight on News LA in primetime at that 5 o'clock special report. It's brand new tonight. But it's for many industries that are getting blindsided because they have not pivoted correctly, or employees who have pivoted correctly. Let me go over you, the employee, first. If you have a job, I want you to immediately look and see what would happen if you got laid off. Is there another job somewhere close by that you can get right away? I don't want you to look for stimulus. I want you to focus on what would be the replacement job. Because I believe that the vast majority of Americans are in a nirvana false narrative that if they're laid off today, this looks like January of this year. I think they can go next door and find a job at the employer next door, ask for a salary raise, and ask for a hiring bonus. A, no. B, no. C, no. In fact, that employer may not be around tomorrow. The business may be shuttered, may be closed down. So I believe that's what's happening. I also believe that they think that there's FPUC, PUA, and PUC, all those wonderful unemployment stimulus items from 2020 still around. They're not. And so that rude awakening is going to hit them like a brick. If you're a small business owner, I also want you to prepare for how can you pivot if you have to contract your business, if you have to shrink it. I don't care what type of business it is, because there is no EIDL, there is no EIDL grant. What would you do if that situation changed dramatically? Between now and September, that is the pivot. And what's going on right now? What's going on right now is that businesses and individuals are not moving accordingly as quickly as they can. First, Michael Yoshikaman, Destination Wealth Manager, says that a recession could happen in the third quarter. It's not happening in the third quarter. It's happening next year. This is not the recession. Second, seniors are doing stuff that they should absolutely not be doing. Not my seniors, not my viewers, but elsewhere. What are they doing? A new report says that nearly 47% of them are increasing credit card debt and also dipping into their savings. Folks, that's exactly what you're not supposed to be doing. Right now, if you have any flexible debt at home, any interest-bearing flexible debt, get rid of it. What are the examples? Credit card debt, pay it off. Car loans, pay it off. Mortgage, flexible, pay it off. Pay it off or switch it to fixed. Why? Because J-Powell's going to kill you on the interest rates. Jay Powell this last week raised interest rates for the June FOMC meeting, exactly what I said, 3/4 of a basis point, also Wall Street said. What am I predicting for the next meetings? And what is, I believe it's JP Morgan says the same thing as me. What do we believe that Jay Powell's going to do with those interest rate spikes? He's going to do 3/4 in July, they're off in August, then half in September, half in October, and 1/4 in November. Imagine if you have a flexible interest rate item and you're going to be raised 3/4 this month, then 3/4, then half, then quarter. Ouch. Get rid of that instrument right away. Quickly move right away. And do not build up credit card debt. Do not dip in your savings. Get those stimulus checks in every U.S. state. They're coming up later in this recording. Number 2, if you're a business, don't do what auto, home, housing, and airlines are doing right now. Tesla did it again yesterday. What did Tesla do? Tesla's laid off 10% of their workforce and had a hiring freeze. So what do? They have higher material costs, so they're raising the price of the cars by nearly $6,000. Is anyone going to buy them? No, of course not. You're not going to buy a car that's $6,000 more than it was the week before, and that now has a higher and unsustainable car loan payment attached to it. You cannot do it. And that's why bankruptcy are going to grow. The first bankruptcy report on this channel came in yesterday for June 15th. It was Revlon that announced Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection on Wednesday. The beauty company. Millennials are approaching this sensibly. Millennials have stopped their feet in their tracks and have immediately stopped buying cars, homes, or anything that has interest rates, because their interest rates are 44% higher than they were a year ago. Overseas, the situation is very dramatically worse. Remember, we're symbiotic relationship with other countries. Bank of England said that they're having a 5th interest rate hike, that their economy is going into 10% inflation by December. Ouch. And that yields back here in the United States are at 3.4% for the 10-year, and the 30-year is at 3.453%, and the 2-year is heading to 3.4. You gotta get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. See how bad this is? You see how bad this is? And this is just stage 1. This is just stage 1 between now and September. And you got to get these checks because you have to financially survive this downward spiral of this economy between now and September. And so step 1, go to under this video and become a member. Get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Step 2, stay with me to the second half of this video because we're going to get those forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. You got to get these checks so that you can financially survive this economy between now and September. And then hopefully you get the big checks. Hopefully you keep on getting checks, which I'm going to teach you later in the second half of this video, because the September part of this economy to January is going to be even worse. Let me explain. The September part of this economy will be phase 2, and that will look like day 1 of the pandemic in March 20 of 2020. The good news, the wonderful news, is that you have this channel, I have you, we have the information, and you have a pre-warning. Back when the pandemic and the lockdown was announced in March of 2020, you had no pre-warning. You had literally no pre-warning. No one had ever heard of lockdown. You were shocked. What do you mean lockdown? I'm gonna lose my home, my business, my car, everything. I'll lose everything. And you looked high and low for stimulus as quickly as possible. You pounced as quickly as you could. No pre-warning. This time you have a pre-warning. In fact, you have a 6-month pre-warning. Because I've been telling you the situation since February this year. In March of this year, I said I got you stimulus checks in every U.S. state after you asked me to find them. And you will have had 6 months to get these stimulus checks in every U.S. state. March, April, May, June, July, August, before the lockdown, euphemistically, the similarly, hits in September of this year. When this economy hits and the phase 2 kicks underway in September, you will have a 6-month pre-warning to get those stimulus checks. That is why you're in a much better situation now. You don't wait 6 months. You don't wait 6 weeks. You don't wait 6 days. You don't even wait 6 hours. You become a member right this minute because this economy is going to hell. And by September, it's going to be horrific. Then come January comes the recession. The recession comes in January, and the President of the United States addressed the situation just minutes ago. This is breaking news for June 16th, 2022. The President of the United States is one of 2 comments I have today, and they're both nonsense. First, the President of the United States, speaking to the Associated Press in a 30-minute Oval Office interview today, June 17, 2022, said the following. When asked, is recession inevitable? He said, first of all, it's not inevitable. Pause. Let's analyze that. Quote. Can this president avoid a recession? The answer is yes, if he does one thing. You know the answer. If you're in the live chat right now and you have not watched this recording before, you've not heard me run this quote before, jump in the live chat what the president has to do to prevent a recession inevitable. He has to get one thing and one thing only. Right in the live chat, write it right now what you think it is. If you wrote, he has to get gasoline. You got it right. A recession is inevitable if the president does not get 3.5 million barrels of gasoline missing per day for him and the Western allies. It will be inevitable. A recession will be prevented and will not be inevitable. It will be prevented. Recession will be prevented if the president gets 3.5 million barrels of gasoline per day right away for him and the Western allies. Why? We learned this last night. I'm going to go over more on Evenings LA tonight. It's a little bit complicated, so I don't want to do it right now. When you have a shortage of gasoline, then gasoline is one of 2 major components of the inflationary number, the CPI. If you don't have gasoline, then the price of gasoline goes up. If the price of gasoline goes up, then it is driving up inflation, which is determined by that CPI number from last Friday. If that CPI number goes up, then Jay Powell raises interest rates, as he did this last week, as he said, based upon the CPI. And if Jay Powell continues to raise interest rates, then you go into recession. The only way you stop it is at the very beginning of the equation, the very beginning of the domino fall. You get gasoline. Let's go to the second half of his quote. Second half of his quote is, second, we are in a stronger position in the United States than any other nation in the world to overcome this inflation. No, we're actually not. We don't have 3.5 million barrels of gasoline in the ground, so we're not in a better position than anyone else to get the 3.5 million barrels. Now, financially, we're in a better position to buy the gasoline than other countries. That is correct. But no, we're not in a better position to create 3.5 million barrels. We have to go to one of the 5 countries featured later in this recording to get the gasoline. If we don't, we're not in any better position. We're just someone else waiting to get that gasoline from another of those 5 countries. Then the quote follows, and I want you to listen to this quote. This is what the president says. If it's my fault, then why is the case that every other major industrial country in the world that inflation is higher? You ask yourself that. I'm not being a wise guy. Is that Joe Biden speaking? Whatever happened to Joe Biden? Barack needs to make him a phone call. Joe Biden's likability is disappearing very quickly because Joe Biden would never talk like that. That's not Joe Biden's way of talking. But that was a Joe Biden quote. Remember the quote from Joe Biden at the Santa Monica airport last week when asked about gasoline, when asked about recession, he was asked point blank, what are you going to do with the problem of gasoline? He says, go ask those oil executives, how much money did you make last quarter? It's a darn shame. There's a sort of tone coming out of him in the last 7 days, and I don't like it. I don't like it because it looks like this is getting to him in a way that is getting him a little ramped up. Then he changes. Be confident, because I'm confident, because we're better positioned than any other country in the world in the second quarter of the 21st century. That's not a hyperbole, that's a fact. What's the fact? That we're in a better position for what? We need gasoline, Joe. The takeaway is that there's 3.5 million barrels of gasoline missing per day because we've embargoed them from Russia, because OPEC Plus has reduced petroleum production. The 3.5 million barrels of gasoline per day cannot be produced by the White House, cannot be produced by anyone in U.S. territories. And the president's narrative has been the same, and it's a wrong narrative. It's going to lose him the Oval Office. The narrative is to lambaste the oil executives. They don't have 3.5 million barrels for you. They don't have it in the ground. They never will have it in the ground. You could increase their production 7,000%. They will still not have 3.5 million barrels of gasoline in the ground. There's only 5 countries to do. They are Venezuela. They are Brazil. They are Iran. They are OPEC and OPEC Plus. And somewhere in the White House needs to wake up and fire all the all the economic council members, including Brian Deasy, and potentially fire Ron Klain, because this is simple math. This is simple economics. You don't go after someone who's not the root of the problem. The root of the problem is missing gasoline. You need to go buy the gasoline. If you don't buy the gasoline, the problem continues. And yes, a recession is inevitable. We have another quote that came in today, and it's more nonsense. Who else is giving us nonsense today? Is it Mitch? No, Mitch has been quiet lately. It's Jerome Powell. Does he drink lobster teenies? Maybe he does. Here's Jay Powell. His nonsense quote is, looking forward, I'm absolutely focused on returning inflation back to our 2% objective. Well, you are too. And Mitch is very focused on having every senator wear lobster shirts. But it's never going to happen, Jay. Jay Powell with this 2% inflation by the end of the year. This is, he needs to have his Snickers bar. He needs to have his Snickers bar because he hasn't been himself lately. Jay Powell, you're not going to get inflation to 2%. Why do you keep on saying that ridiculousness? I mean, you could say some of the things that make sort of sense, but no one believes you're getting inflation to 2%. I mean, no one. Later this quarter, we're going to go over the Social Security Administration. He doesn't believe it. The CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, nonpartisan, they don't believe it. Department of Labor, they don't believe it. No one on Wall Street believes it. The Bank of England doesn't believe it. They think inflation is going to be at 10% by December in England, and they have 5 interest rate spikes coming up. So, just ridiculous. Where were his comments? His comments were Friday at a conference for lobsters, I think it was. I don't know. It's really sort of, it was at a conference about the role of the U.S. economy. Cinnamon roll, I think it was. All right, so here's what you need to do. You got to get the 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. I mean, the nonsense coming out of these people just is really sort of the issue. I mean, don't get the gasoline, we're going to recession. Don't get the gasoline, we have higher inflation. Don't get the gasoline, Jay Powell's going to send you in a recession. And everyone knows this. This is not a rocket science here. The only difference is I've been telling this since February. 4 stimulus check is in every U.S. state, and back in the month of March, viewers, which are so smart on this channel, so intelligent, you are so intelligent on this channel, said, you know what, LALATE, they aren't getting that Build Back Better Act done quick enough. Can you get us a 4 stimulus check in every U.S. state? Can you look and find us some? And I did. I've been getting these 4 stimulus checks since the month of March. They are astronomically wonderful. You qualify. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you rent, if you own, if you have children, if you don't have children, if you're young, if you're old, if you're on benefits, if you're not on benefits, go get these incredible checks. You have a 6-month advance warning about the downward spiral of this economy, but it's actually been longer. I've been telling you this since February. I've been telling you that a recession's coming next year since February. I was the only U.S. broadcaster to ever record this in February, and I've been hitting it like a hammer. Since then, all my economic projections have been correct. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over these incredible checks. I'm going to show you how to get them, where to get them, and why to get them. It's very, very straightforward. Now, here is what you need to know, is that this is June, July, August, September. I don't want you waiting 3 months to get these 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. If you just found this channel today, are you in trouble that you just found it today? No, you're fine. You're fine. You need to turn around very quickly and become a member right now. Go right in this video, subscribe. Then go under the video where it says join and become a member. Join right today. Then get that newsletter Monday through Friday. I'll go over the newsletter in a second. And go in there to the newsletter, the one that everyone's talking about, and get these big 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. You today have a 3-month advance warning about that implosion of this U.S. economy by September. Then you have January coming up next year. Now, if you've been a member over the last few months and have not gotten these checks, it's sort of, been knitting a quilt. Put the quilt down. It's the summer. You don't need a quilt. You don't need a quilt unless you don't have any warmth in your soul. Maybe you're a particular senator we know has no warmth in his soul. Just put the quilt down and stop knitting and go get these 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. The economy is getting really bad very quickly. And in the second half of this video, I'm going to explain to you the importance of getting these checks. Let's go over the eligibility and let's go over the dollar value. First, I make sure these checks are big checks. Big checks. There was somebody in the live chat yesterday who actually talked about a $200 check their state is automatically sending out. If you're salivating over a $200 check, please leave this channel. I mean, really? $200. $200. You're salivating over a $200 stimulus check that your state may be sending out. $200 is not even going to fill up a quarter of the gas tank in that truck. It's not going to cut anything. You need massive tens of thousands of dollars stimulus checks, and I got them for you in the second half of this video, up to $80,000. That is what I want you to get. Number 2, I want you to keep on getting checks. I'll explain to you this in the second half of this video. Get checks today, get checks the next week, get checks thereafter. Keep on getting checks. I'm going to show you how. Then understand you qualify. Single individual, $75,000 or less, go get them. Married couple, $150,000 or less, go get them. Rent, own, don't own. Children, without children, elderly, young, on benefits, not on benefits, go get them. And then also the second half of this video, I'm going to go over those benefit raises. Your benefits are going up. Great news if you're on SSI, SSDI, Veterans Benefits More. And even better news is that raise of your benefits is now featured in the newsletter. Boy, we got a great second half. We should. We deserve it. We endured all the financial calamities of the first half of this recording, the projections of where this economy is going, and in the second half of this video, we are owed some checks, and we're going to get some beautiful, beautiful checks in the second half of this video. For a beautiful afternoon, we have a lot at issue. We'll also be going over what's happening with gasoline, the big second half, and more. First, become a member, and then stay with me in the second half as we get those huge checks. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, I'm so excited you're here. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as America's most loved show at the midday continues its afternoons.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. home. LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now for June 17th, 2022, from the shores of Santa Monica, California. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I hope the weather's good where you are. I know it's been hot in a lot of parts of the country. A lot of people have been chatting about it in the live chat. How's the weather where you are? Jump in the live chat and tell me how you're doing. Also coming in the next 90 days is the brand new LALATE. You're going to be very excited about it. I'll have a little bit more about it in the next few days. You know, when day one of this channel launched, we talked about being smart with things, and you were really, really smart. Day one, people's applications for the EIDL grant and EIDL loans were locked up. They weren't moving. They weren't starting. And there was something wrong. And I said, you need to pick up the phone and call SBA and keep on calling. Initially, some people said, I called and they didn't give me enough information. I said, just hang up the phone, call back and ask for tier 2. And they did, and they got someone on the phone that had a sensible reaction, and they got it moving along. Thinking and moving smart is really what I've always taught the viewers of this channel, and you are so smart. Back in the month of March, you understood that in watching the videos, Build Back Better Act wasn't getting done yet in the month of March this year. And you said, LA, do you have a forced stimulus check for me? There's other ways for forced stimulus checks to come out. You knew them because I've taught you that. And I looked high and low and I found them. They came for executive action from Joseph Biden. They came from the states. They came in big amounts of money. And I found them. And I immediately delivered them to the viewers of this channel. In the month of April, we went over what I called LA 101 and LA 202 and LA 303, sort of like a university type system, where I said, here I want you to learn about how to get the checks. Here I want you to apply for a round of checks. Here I want you to apply for multiple rounds of checks. You did so well. It's all about learning. And with that, let's go over the incredible checks right now, how you get them, what you do, and the incredible sums of money. And these are coming generally from executive action from Joseph Biden. The first check is wonderful. It's $6,500 to $12,000. It's a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state, and you can get it. Go get it. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you are on benefits, SSI, SSDI, veterans benefits, or more, go get it. How do you get it? Step 1, subscribe to this channel. Step 2, become a member. Step 3, go into the incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system and become a member and get that newsletter. Go down to check A in the newsletter and apply. Yes, pounds. The application link is right in that newsletter at Check A. It sends you to the nationwide website. You choose your state. Then you choose the homeowners weatherizing grant and you pounce. But you're not going to stop there yet. Nope. You are going to go for another check. And that other check is $15,000 to $80,000. Wow. This is being smart. This is being smart. Why would you think about a $200 check when you can get an $80,000 check? Imagine how long $80,000 would pay for your household and its bills. 6 months? A year? It's a long time. The average viewer of this channel is getting $66,000 to $80,000. It's a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you rent, if you are on benefits, if you're not on benefits, go get it. If you have children, you don't have children, go get it. Step 1, become a member. Become a member. Go right in this video and join. Step 2, go right into the membership newsletter delivered Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and go right down to Check B in the newsletter. It has the link to go right into the nationwide website. You choose your state and you apply and you get this $15,000 to $80,000 Check B in every U.S. state. But you're not going to stop there yet. No, you're going to go get Check C. Check C is wonderful. It's for my renters and my homeowners. It's averaging about $2,000 monthly stimulus check over 12 months, but many viewers have gotten upwards of $45,000. How do you get this incredible check? See, you become a member again. You go down in that membership newsletter, and it describes where to call, what to say, and how to say it for Check C. You're going to make about 15 phone calls, and it specifically explains who to call, what to say, and where to say it. And you will get those routing times of those checks very, very quickly. The success stories for Check C date back to December 2020 because at the time, there wasn't a lot of stimulus out there. And people said to me, LA, can you find us some stimulus checks? It was December 2020. The thing of the pandemic was winter. And I found you some money, but then that money got ballooned bigger when it became a law under third stimulus. And this is what people got. And that money is still what Check C is today. It was initially called Purple on this channel, then it was called Third Stimulus. Now I call it Check C. $20,000 to $30,000 for rent. Would you like that? Go get Check C. How about utilities? Look at these numbers. Up to $15,000 for utilities. Go get Check C. SNAP. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $25,000 a year over 10 years, $250,000. He's also getting $15,000 of SNAP, $15,000 of utilities. How about combos? Now, this is what I also teach. If you got a check today from anything on this channel, then tomorrow you're going to go get another check. The day after that, you're going to get another check. Every often as you can do, you're going to keep on pouncing and getting checks. Here's Nisi and Mark. They heard that messaging loud and clear. Nisi is at $23,000. Now she's nearly $50,000 because she keeps on getting checks. Mark was at $23,000. Let me show you what happened to Mark. Mark, I said on air, Mark, go get more money. He went from $32,000 to $50,000 to $100,000. Then he got check B at $66,000. He went to $166,000. Lorraine, she's in all the live chats. She went from $105,000 to $120,000 to nearly $130,000. Margaret's doing the same thing. Johnny's doing the same thing. It all starts with pouncing like a purple hawk. Pouncing like a purple hawk. That was the expression I created for this channel that describes that people pounce and get these sums of money in every U.S. state. Go get check B. Go get check A. Go get check B. Go get check C. And if there's a check D in your state, go get that as well. A fourth stimulus check is in every U.S. state. Become a member. Go right in that membership newsletter. Go down and start getting those checks today. And start acting smart. My viewers are very, very smart. And it's not for me to make this statement to you. I'm making the statement I'm about to say to people who don't watch this channel. For people who don't watch this channel, they've been acting silly. Why? Because they've been doing silly things for a silly period of time, and they're going to be left by the wayside. And a comment that mirrored what I said, what I've been saying for a while, came in yesterday from Alliance Chief Investment Advisor Mohammed El-Arari. He said that it's about time we exit the artificial world of predictive mass liquidity injections where everybody's used to zero interest rates. I'll explain that in a second. Where we do silly things, whether it's investing in a part of the market we should not, or investing in the economy in a way that doesn't make sense. We're scheduling that regime, and it's going to be bumpy. He says that people have been acting silly with investing in financial news and financial approachment, and that they need to stop doing it because we're exiting a universe of nirvana. It really is the case. Let's go over, again, this is not what you've been doing. This is what people outside of the universe of LALATE and the Purple Power community have been doing. First, they think that whatever happened in 2020 will be treating them the same way in the financial downfall of this economy in 2022. Not going to happen. So imagine how many people who have a job today think that if they get laid off, there'll be another $600 a week on top of their unemployment benefits of FPUC. It doesn't exist anymore. They think they'll get extra weeks of benefits under PEUC. That doesn't exist anymore. They think they get laid off as an independent contractor. It'll be PUA. That doesn't exist anymore. They think that they lose their business, there'll be an EIDL grant or an EIDL loan. That and that don't exist anymore. They also believe that the way in which stimulus was delivered perhaps before for a measly $600 or $1,200 will be delivered the same way again. That's not happening anymore. What's happening right now is the reality. Monster checks of $80,000 that are available right now. The membership of this channel is doing things smartly. You've been doing things smartly since March. I taught you get stimulus when situations are good. Don't wait when the situations are bad. Back in March, I started delivering these checks A, B, and C, and you started getting them. And you're getting checks back and forth every few days since then. Doing things silly is waiting for the financial downfall of this economy in September and then show up on the channel and say, hi, I'm new. Do you have a stimulus check for me? I pause because I don't know if check A, B, and C will be around in September. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But here's what silliness involves. waiting for the storm to hit of the financial downturn, this economy as we go into phase 2 in September, and then getting stimulus or looking for stimulus when your back is against the wall. No, we already did this before. We did this in March of 2020. That lockdown was horrible. You had no pre-warning and you had to run and find stimulus. This time you have a pre-warning. This is June. You got a 3-month pre-warning before September. And September is just phase 2. The recession is not till next year. And the recession, I'm going to explain to you again, is going to be the worst economic time of your generation. I'm not mincing my words. I'm not using hyperbole. It's going to be horrific. People are going to lose their homes. They're going to lose their jobs. They're going to lose their businesses. They'll lose their cars. It's not going to be just like day one of a lockdown of March 2020 that maybe you can survive and you come back and everything is fine. No, it's going to be horrific. It's absolutely going to be horrific. It's going to be a new Congress in session. No one knows what that Congress is going to do. You can't look to them to do. You got to grab the money that's available today. So Arari, when he says people doing silly things, that silly things is left and right. People that are watching crypto shows and saying, those are going to go to $1, silly. People that are watching things and saying, hey, let's buy the stocks on a dip now in June. This ain't a dip. This is a downward spiral. The U.S. stock market crash is just getting started. It's down 24%, 25%. It's going to go down 45%. In a bear market, you're down 26%. We're in a bear market. In a bear market with a recession, that's next year, you're down 46%. So understand that markets will go up and down as we slide downward, but we have a long way down to the bottom, and the bottom will not be reached in the stock market until next year. It's going to take a while to get down 46% on the whole market. I'm not talking about stocks. Some stocks are down 60% already. Housing market crash of 2022 is certainly underway. Housing, auto, airlines, and travel and leisure are all going to bust like a bubble because they are doing bubble-like actions. What are they doing? They're all doing the same thing. It's very, very simple. They see their costs going up. So what are they doing? They're greedy as hell. So they want to have the same profit level they had last month or the year before. And so they're raising the price so that they can have the same profit level. You're looking at the price and saying, I'm not paying that higher price. Good luck. See you later. I'm leaving. And then they don't have the sales and then they go under. That's what's happening in industry after industry after industry. In the case of auto sales are down 17% year to date. Tesla announcing yesterday it's laying off, it's adding $6,000 on top of their existing car prices because the subcontractor, the material costs are going through the roof. They also laid off 10% of their employees. Do you think people are going to pay $6,000 more for Tesla when the loans on the Tesla have gone up from 2% to 5% and going to go to 6 or 7%? No, Tesla's going to. That's why the stock is imploding this week. That's why auto, and Tesla's not alone, they're all doing it. The auto industries are trying to go from $2,000 profit per car to $5,000 profit per car. No one's ever seen this profit level. Guess what? The cars aren't selling. You aren't going to buy a car at that type of price level. Number 2, airlines. Airlines tried that game with you as well. Did you travel over Memorial Day weekend? You may have seen the prices of the airfares. $500 an airfare U.S. domestic round trip average. It was up 200% from just a few months before. Why? The jet fuel. They did not want to have less profits. They want to have the same profit level. Just stick the jet fuel price to the consumer, to the traveler. You're not buying the tickets. Airline bookings are down 3% month after month. I'm going to have that tonight on Evenings LA. Travel and leisure, hospitality, hotels, beverage, bars, and restaurants, all going down. Because you're showing up and you're saying, what's with the price of this meal? What happened to the price of this drink? Drinks and beverage and food and all going up. I'm not paying for this. Make less profit and give me the item you had last month. I'm not paying for these price levels. Give yourself less profit and keep the prices where they are. That's what they need to do. They're not. They're going to go under. And that is sort of the repetition of a bubble-like environment. Finally, housing. Housing is really one of the most important parts of the economy. You know that. And the housing industry initially was brandished by bad financial analysts on Wall Street as the only part of this economy currently bad. No. It was not the only part of the economy that's bad. It's one of the worst, but it's not the only. The housing industry is going to implode like you've never seen it implode. Why? Home builders' sentiments are down. The realtor sentiments are down. The sellers cannot sell the homes, and there's a lot of major problems. Let me tell you what's going on. It's just like auto and travel and leisure. Material costs have gone up, so the home builders or the home sellers have now raised the price of the homes because they want, again, to have the same profit level and stick you with a higher price of the product to buy. You're showing up and saying, what is this ridiculous price of this home? I'm not paying for this price of this home. And in fact, I can't afford the price of the home because the mortgage rates are through the roof. The mortgage rates were 2 or 3% in February, and now they're 5%, they're heading to 6%. I can't afford this home. I'm not buying this home. And guess what? Your price is too high. Good luck. And guess what? That's what's going to happen. The home sellers are going to go under. They're going to lose their homes because they're not selling the homes quick enough. The home prices are dropping quicker, but they're not falling quick enough. And the home sellers who think they can run out a beautiful profit from 2021 or whenever they bought the house in 2020, they're going to lose their homes. They're going to lose their homes. And if they have a flexible mortgage rate, they are really losing their homes. The buyers are not buying the homes. And as we talk about the millennials, anyone who's sensible is staying away from the housing market if you can't afford it with the mortgage rate. And if you think the prices are inflated, housing industry is going to go under very badly. Home builders, realtors, very, very false narrative, silly things, just like that analyst said earlier in this recording. With that, you got to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. And finally, I have some great news for you. In addition to that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state, I have some other money for you. Step 1, become a member. Step 2, get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday. And in that newsletter, you're not only going to get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state, you're also going to get now the information about how your benefits are going up. Yes, if you're on SSI, SSDI, RB, veterans benefits or similar, your benefits are definitely going up. Why is it in the newsletter? Because it's a little complicated to explain in the video. And while explaining it on a regular basis, I still think it's complicated to explain. Let me tell you what's going on. Your benefits are confirmed going up by the guy who determines how they go up, Stephen Goss. He's the chief actuary at the Social Security Administration. He says that based upon current economic numbers, certainly the CPI released last Friday, he believes that your benefits will go up an average of 8% next year because he believes COLA is going to come in at 8% next year. Now, let me go over the analysis with you, and then this is two parts to the story. First, Goss is looking at the CPI number released last Friday, and he says that based upon that, your COLA benchmark this winter will be 8%. Your benefits will go up 8% next year. This is great news because this is your SS300. That means your benefits will go up about $300 a month, not just that year, not just that month, but lifetime, because once your benefits go up, they never go down. This benchmark of COLA is dependent upon 3 numbers. COLA in July, COLA in August, and COLA in September. Once we see those numbers released in July, August, and September of this year, then we know how much COLA will be for this year. That will gauge how much your benefits will go up. Now, what is Goss doing, and is Goss correct? Let me tell you what's going on. COLA is dependent upon another number. COLA is dependent on another number. It's called CPI-W. Does that sound familiar? It should. CPI-W is a subsection of CPI. That number released last Friday. It is the inflation number. And remember, last Friday came in at 8.5%. Wall Street is looking at 8.3%. That CPI subsection number is CPI-W. That's what COLA basically is. Goss looked at that number last Friday. He said, when I'm looking at this number, I'm basically saying, I believe by July, August, September, that it's going to be really at about, that's a quote, at about 8%. A nonprofit organization looking at the same number said, I believe it's going to be at 8.6%. What are they doing? They're basically looking at data from last Friday and trying to guess what's going to happen or predict what's going to happen in July, August, September. I'm going to do the same thing with you right now. I think it's going to be 8.9%. 8.9%. Why? If you answer that question early in this live chat about gasoline prices, you're going to know this analysis as well. If gasoline remains high as it is, or even goes higher, as I'm predicting, to $10 a gallon, which I'll explain tonight on Evenings LA, then gasoline drives the CPI, the inflation number, higher. If the CPI number goes higher, then the sub number, CPI-W, goes higher. Then COLA. Then COLA goes higher. And that means, that's why I believe it's going to be 8.9%. There you go, 8.9%. 8.6% is not SS300. It's more like SS350 or SS375. Wonderful, wonderful congratulatory news to you and all your families. Now, even more better news on top of that. Two bills have been introduced, one by Bernie Sanders and Liz Warren, and another by another legislator, to swap COLA to CPI-E right away. Now, I don't know if these laws will pass because they may require a reconciliation. That's not really lined up right now. That's for stimulus. But CPI-E is basically inflation. That's another subsection of CPI. It's basically inflation. And so they want to swap it out to something even better than CPI-W, which would be CPI-E. This is swapping your COLA to inflation, and it's all on the books. And now two pieces of legislation that could still happen. Being smart is what's going to put you ahead in this economy. Being silly is what will leave other people by the wayside. Silly people are people saying silly things like, when is my state sending me my check? Silly people are people saying, I looked at my direct deposit. I don't see a check yet. Silly people are people saying things like, you know what? They should just do it like how they did in 2020. That's what silly people are going to be doing. And silly people are going to be doing silly things and saying silly things, not learning. And when you don't learn, you don't get money. You don't learn, you don't earn. I said that statement a long time ago on this channel. You don't learn, you don't earn. And guess what's going to happen? This economy is going down very, very quickly. If you don't learn, you're not going to be prepared for the downward spiral of the economy. You're not going to be prepared for where it's going. The great news is that we're a family, we're a community, we're a loving group of people that cares for one another, a Purple Power community. I care for you, I care greatly for you. And that's why I sometimes come in tough with a lot of tough love. And that tough love today is, you got a great pre-warning. You got a great pre-warning between now and September. September's 3 months out. Get that fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state today. You got 3 months before the implosion of this economy that will look like the lockdown of 2020 hits in September. 3-month pre-warning does not mean you wait 3 months to get the stimulus checks. It means you move today. Not 3 months, not 3 weeks, not 3 days, not 3 hours. Today. Get that fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state by doing the following things. Step 1, subscribing to the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America, soon to become number 2. Becoming a member, going under the video and hitting the join button where it says join this channel, becoming a Purple Hawk Purple Power Casino VIP, and getting that newsletter Monday through Friday, and getting those four stimulus checks in every U.S. state. I'll see you tonight at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time for a brand new Evenings LA show for June 17, 2022. Breaking news as well. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, God bless. Prepare yourself accordingly. Prepare yourself for this economy. Stay with this channel as 3 things are delivered in every video. Analysis of where the economy is today, analysis of where the economy is going, and getting you big money when you need it. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful day, and stay with LA for more.